All right, welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we are talking about how to party like a rock star and still feel great. And what I mean by that is we are talking about sobriety today. Today is the day after Thanksgiving. And many of you probably may not be feeling so hot the day after Thanksgiving with a hangover or anything, things like that. Probably questioning a few of your life choices right now. So we're gonna get right into it, and we're gonna talk about how to party like a rock star and still feel great. So yeah, I have done my fair share of partying like a rock star back in the day. Being a drum maker, or being a drummer and a filmmaker. Alcohol is just kind of part and parcel of those industries. So being on stage, hitting drinks on stage, doing a bunch of 24-ounce curls, as it were, on stage, 1.5-ounce lifts on stage, you know what I'm saying? I have done my fair share of that. I do have a basis and know what I'm talking about when how to party like a rock star and still feel great. I'll be sober now, coming up on 3 years in January, and it's been a crazy journey in gaining sobriety and maintaining sobriety. So that's one of the reasons why I'm talking about it. This particular time of year is holidays are a hotbed for making bad decisions as well as good decisions. Bad decisions as far as overindulgence in alcohol. Good decisions as far as hitting that point in life where you're like, you know what, I'm freaking done with alcohol, and I'm moving forward. So that these holiday seasons are excellent for those types of decisions. And what made me get sober was back in January of 2022. I was just on a bender, just drinking all day and everything, and it's like my routine when I wasn't working. If I was working, I would wait till I would get home from work to drink. But if I happened to not be working that particular day, my routine was I would wake up in the morning, maybe 8 o'clock in the morning or so. First thing I would do is crack open a 16-ounce PBR, and I was a cheap drunk. I wasn't going for that bougie beer or nothing like that. I was a cheap drunk. So I'd crack open a 16-ounce PBR and down a 16-ounce as soon as I woke up. By noon, I probably already had 2 or 3 16-ounces and was feeling pretty good about myself by about noon. And then the day would just go on, and I would just maintain. And that's just kind of how life was for a long time. So it got to the point where I was just sitting at the kitchen table, and my wife and I was having a bit of a argument, discussion, whatever. And I had a can in front of me, and she's like, well, maybe lift up the can. Maybe this is part of the problem, is what she was insinuating at. And I was like, yeah, probably. And so anyway, I was, humiliated. I was embarrassed. All the things, that goes along with the lifestyle of hitting it hard. And so I just went said, you know what, I'm just going on a walk. So it was nighttime, it was winter, it was cold, put on my coat, and took my beer with me. I had to finish my beer. And so I finished my beer on my walk and threw it away in a neighbor's garbage can or whatever, and came back, hour later after my walk. And so I didn't tell her what my plan was. I just had time to cool down, just come home, whatever, just chill. So the deal I made with myself was I wasn't going to stop drinking because I didn't want to make it a finite decision. I didn't want to say, that's it, I'm done drinking, I'm over. That's, what I did not do that. I said, I'm just going to do an experiment here. I'm going to find out, how this goes. And so I said, I'm going to try a month. I'm going to see if I can stop drinking for a month. So, I stopped drinking, didn't buy any more alcohol, but I also knew that, because I still was playing in a band at the time and still on stage, and alcohol is part and parcel of that whole scene. So I decided to try non-alcoholic beers. And so I would, when I go to the club, I would buy, a non-alcoholic beer at the club. That way I still had the prop in my hand, I had the taste, the whole social aspect was still there, but I didn't have the dangerous alcohol part. So, everything but the dangerous alcohol part was present in drinking non-alcoholic beers. And over time, I became more and more of a connoisseur of non-alcoholic beers. And I discovered that there's actually a huge growing industry of non-alcoholic products, beers, wines, spirits, all that stuff. There's non-alcoholic counterparts to all the alcoholic drinks and things like that. It's actually really interesting. It's a brand new, it's not brand new, but it's a growing new industry that is growing out there as far as, non-alcoholic drinks. And I brought a couple of props here with me. They are not paid product placements. It's just that these are products that I have tried and they are fantastic. They are very well done. And you can buy them at your grocery store. And anyway, so we have your Coronas, non-alcoholic Coronas. Love these things. They taste exactly like the real deal. Put a lime in those bad boys, boom, tastes like, you're, drinking a real Corona just without the alcohol. So very nicely done. And also the other one, my other favorite, are Blue Moons, non-alcoholic Blue Moon. Another very well done non-alcoholic drink. So check those out. They're in the grocery store beer sections. They have like a non-alcoholic section, the grocery store beer sections. Then, so as I was going through this experiment in seeing, if I can go a month without drinking, so I would drink, if I had like cravings coming on, I'd have cravings coming and I would drink, a non-alcoholic beer or two to get the craving gone. So my brain thinks, okay, everything's kind of back to normal. We're okay. He's drinking a beer. It's fine. Got the prop, got the taste, got the social interaction. Everything's cool, just without the dangerous alcohol part. So that helped a lot. And then I decided, so I did 1 month. I'm like, all right, let me see if I could do 6 months. So I'm going to try 6 months of sobriety. And so I went 6 months. And, along the entire time, I kept on telling myself, this is not, you can still, if you really, really, really want to have a drink, I'll allow myself to have a drink. And I won't, tear myself up about it or anything. I won't be hard on myself about it or anything like that. I'll still allow myself that kind of grace. But the interesting thing is that those rules that I had set for myself made it so that I didn't want to break the sobriety. I just kept on. And so 6 months turned into 9 months, turned into a year. And so I hit a year of sobriety. I'm like, damn, a year sober. Who would have known? Who would have known that I could do a year sober? And so 1 year became 2 years. And now we're coming up on 3 years in January. And it's been crazy. I haven't had a drop of alcohol in that time period. Non-alcoholic products are my jam now. I'm a huge connoisseur and a huge promoter of non-alcoholic products now. So that's what I do now. And so it's, now that I'm coming up on 3 years, I don't even drink non-alcoholic drinks, but on a very rare occasion. It's just like, just the drive is gone. It's just, it's just gone. So thankful for that. I also looked up, I looked to different examples of people who have done the same thing that I'm trying to do, and Alice Cooper was one of the main examples that I looked to. That Alice Cooper was a huge alcoholic, and so his story to me is a really inspiring story on how he went from being a total degenerate alcoholic to still being, a 74-year-old kick-ass rock star. So that's an inspiring story for me. But anyway, yeah, it's just alcohol. It's not the thing. So sobriety is the new cool. The cool people, the cool kids are sober now. The cool kids have awesome sobriety tales and sobriety stories, and that's the real rock and roll, is if you can be sober and still have a good time on stage. That's rock and roll right there. So anyway, the first 6 years of being a drunk, I call myself a drunk, not an alcoholic. Alcoholics go to meetings. I was a drunk. I didn't go to meetings. I've been to many AA meetings. I've done AA. I've done rehab. I've done all these things over the decades of my life. But every time I went to AA, it just made me want to drink more. I never felt like I fit in with the AA crowd at all. Every time I'd go to an AA meeting, I just wanted to drink more. That's all. It's just, I didn't fit in. It wasn't my crowd. So I was a drunk, whatever, not an alcoholic. So alcoholics go to meetings. I was just a drunk, and I stopped drinking. So and it came down to really, you got to do it for you. I did it for me. I didn't do it for my wife. I didn't do it for anything else. I did it for me. And that's the most important part, because not even law enforcement can make you drink. I mean, you can go to court-ordered whatever, but you'll just despise it and resent it, and it'll probably be short-lived. So it's all about you. It's probably one of the most selfish things you could do for yourself, and it's one of the most selfish things you could do for yourself that is the best thing you can do for yourself. So yeah, that's kind of, in a nutshell, my story. Sorry about the leaky eyes, my gosh, but being sober, I've been able to accomplish so much more in my life. I mean, I've made movies, videos, stayed out of trouble, been a happier person overall, more productive person. It's just like there's no comparison. So yeah, real rock and roll is sobriety. So with that, hit the like button if you like this video, if you like this kind of content. Hit the subscribe button. And let me know about your stories in the comments section. Also, check out my links below for the books that I sell, the links below for the merch that I sell on Amazon. Go to Tubi, watch the documentary about the Salt Lake music scene during the 80s, 90s, and 2000s called The Salt Lake Strip. It's on Tubi. Check that out. You might enjoy it. It's a good scene video. Get a good taste of the Salt Lake music scene there. Anyway, that's what I got for you today. I will see you in the next video. Thanks for everything, guys, and check you next time.